This is the Big Deal Podcast, brought to you and powered by New Covenant Baptist Church in Albertville, Alabama. And on this podcast, we're asking the question, what's the big deal about all things Bible, theology, and culture? I'm Justin.
I'm Brad.
Welcome to the Big Deal. How you doing, man?
Super duper.
Yep, every week.
Every week, buddy.
One day you're gonna say like
Lousy.
you're doing lousy, and
Lousy.
everyone is gonna be like, "What's
bet
happening?"
something horrible's
Something's
happening.
he might have gotten bit by a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did one time. I did.
That's happened before.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think you still said super duper after that, though.
Yeah.
What would it
But
take?
I will tell you, ever since then, when I go jog at the rec center and somebody's out there walking their dog, I'm eyeballing that dog the whole time. Everybody's like,
Right.
hi, and I'm like, no, looking at you.
Like timing your steps
Are you
for a
good
drop
boy?
kick.
I will punt this dog. Yep. Yeah. I got chased by a chihuahua out there one day. It was off leash, just out there by itself. And I thought, you are in danger of your life. I'm not messing
a
around.
Chihuahua they're tiny. They're very puntable.
Yeah, he doesn't realize how small.
But they're so mean.
It came up and I stopped and I looked at it and he stopped and he was like, oh, this guy's serious. And he ran away. He's not going to let me chase him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess not all of them are. Lots of Chihuahuas are nice, but there's so many of them that are yappy and like aggressive, you know?
I
And-
saw this little meme the other day, and it was a Chihuahua, and a Great Dane was on the other side of a sliding glass door, and that Chihuahua was going,
Yeah.
and the dude opened the door, and the Chihuahua just like looked at the guy, and he quit barking. He was just like,
maybe not. I'll park no bike. Kind of stuff.
yeah. The Great Dane's still just standing there, like,
Yeah.
what is up with that?
There's all breeds can be good and bad. I'm not
That's
making
true.
fun of no particular dog.
I will. There's some I'll make fun of for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all cats are wonderful. So there you go.
That's-
That's not true. That's not true at
No.
all. My cats are great though. I love my cats.
Well, the ones you have now. One time you sent me in to pick up a
I did
feral
not.
cat.
I did not send you
That
in
thing
anywhere.
climbed me like a squirrel climbs a tree, dude.
I
It
didn't-
tried to
look,
kill me.
Look, that ain't my fault. We are fostering, and we didn't like those cats either. They suck. Those are terrible cats.
Yeah, yep.
And all of them got adopted somehow.
I didn't tell you this, but
Yeah.
yep.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, that's an evil old man.
Yeah, you've already got comments.
You
Yeah.
cannot be a farmer for very long and not have a switch where you're like, well, this one is time to take it off the farm.
Oh man! All right, hey, so we're in Revelation, right? This is like episode 4 of Revelation. Here's our problem, Brad.
We have a problem?
Yeah, we're expositors, and we can't just zoom through nothing.
We can't.
We just like we're like, oh, we're gonna do this topical stuff for our podcast. And what have we done? After 4 weeks of that, we got bogged down in an exposition of Revelation.
I don't know about bogged down. What it is we get in there and they're like, oh, that's so nice. We're like people who show up at those you know those bin places. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it's like on Tuesdays they get the new bin stuff, and it's like we'll just go look for a minute, and you wind up looking at every single thing in that box.
Yeah,
That's what we
us.
do. We can't not do
We
it.
pulled every item out of the box and examined it and looked it up on Wikipedia. and
It's so
stuff, you
nice.
know?
But
Yeah.
people, how else you gonna know what this is talking about?
Yeah. So in today's a really neat one. I mean,
It's one of the neatest.
it's neat. We got
because we don't know what we're talking
There's
about.
a dragon in it. There's
I know
the fall of Satan is in this one. They only recorded fall of Satan in Scripture.
The only for sure, because Jesus said it. I saw him fall like lightning. You
yeah,
know?
but I mean like the narrative of it.
Yeah. And then we have that big fuss about, is it Isaiah?
Isaiah 14.
Yeah. He hates, that's the dead horse kicker.
Yeah,
We're not going to go there.
Yeah, we're not going to go there right
Yeah.
now. We might get there eventually, but
Yeah.
the fall of Satan's in this one. We have the beast and the mark of the beast are coming up in today. Yeah,
616.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll find out.
Better
when we
be
get
careful.
there.
You know what 667 is?
6'7".
6'7". You know what 667 is?
What do you mean?
That's the neighbor to the beast. That's so bad. That's dumb.
I was
theology
texting.
jokes.
So Evie was sick this week, and she had an iPad in there, and she has like her own like profile on our like Apple account, and so she can text us from the iPad.
Oh.
And so I've been texting with Evie all week, which is super fun. She's
Yeah.
7. And,
Yeah.
And it's been so much fun. It's actually you need to get sick more often, Evie, so I can text you in your room. And she was I sent her a picture. Me and Archer were watching Star Wars, and she was asking which one it was. And I said it was 4, and she said 5. And I said 6, and she said 6, 7, and sent me a gift like that.
Yesterday, Zoe and I, because Amy was sick, we got to eat anywhere we wanted after church, and we went to Ichiban.
Oh yeah. What a
And
winner.
so our meal was like number 47 or whatever, and we're sitting there, both of us eating, minding our own business, and the lady goes 67, and me and Zoe both looked up at the same time. We went like this. We're so stupid. And then we laughed because neither one of us knew that I was going to do it. Yeah. So pretty much me and my daughter share the same brain, which is the source of all of her problems.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go, Zoe. Sorry.
Golly. I'm sorry.
So we got a lot of fun stuff to look at today on starting Revelation 12. And we might get through the bowls today.
Don't get crazy.
We might do it. The bowls are quick.
Yeah.
They're real fast. It don't take much to get through them.
Just going to bowl through there.
Yeah, just going to bowl right through it. Now, other stuff might take a little time. So this is a famous Bible passage. There's a woman, child, and a dragon. Let's read it.
Oh, and you know what's weird? In old literature, dragons are always bad guys.
Yeah.
Always. Mm-hmm. They're never good guys. That happened in recent lit.
That's true. You're right. Even as far, you go back to like The Hobbit, bad guy.
Bad guy.
Right.
Yeah. Beowulf, bad guy.
I think this is
the Bible, bad guy.
I think one of the first people that wrote a dragon as a good guy is Anne McCaffrey. Do you know who she is?
No.
The Dragon Riders of Pern. It's like a series in the 80s that came out.
Well, that was wasn't that a D&D adaptation?
No, not
in Dungeons and Dragons, they had good guy dragons. Maybe that's where it came from. The metallic dragons are all good. The chromatic dragons are evil.
Wow. Okay. So,
So red dragon bad, gold dragon good.
It's a new thing. Yeah. Regardless.
Did I go too nerdy for you? I saw that
went in
instantly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
Okay, I don't want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, this is off the
evil. I'm a D&D nerd.
Yeah, that's right. Demonic stuff. I'm just kidding. It's not.
Probably. I mean, look at me now. Yeah. I'm a D&D kid. I'm unashamed.
All right. Let's read a little bit of it. Chapter 12, starting in verse 1. A great sign appeared in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in labor and agony as she was about to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven. There was a great fiery red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on its heads were 7 crowns. Its tail swept away a third of the stars in heaven and hurled them to earth. And the dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she did give birth, it might devour her child. She gave birth to a son, a male, who is going to rule all nations with an iron rod. Her child was caught up to God and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared by God to be nourished there for 1,260 days. All right.
3.5 years.
3.5, which is 3.5 years, right? That follows in suit with the numerology going on with 7, half of 7.
Yeah, half of
right?
7.
Half of an age is the idea here. So a sign, right? This is
signs everywhere. The signs.
This is setting it up for you. This isn't literal, okay? It's telling you this is a sign. It's not. You shouldn't be looking for a dragon, and a woman being chased by a dragon, literally, right?
Man, literally, always kind of.
Remember what I mean is a physical dragon. So in the
when
Revelation,
somebody says literally, I always just pucker up, man.
I know it. It's a bad word.
There is. Here's what I say. There is a real thing underlying this symbol.
Yeah,
that is important.
And
that's
the distinction I'm making here is that this is a symbol talking about some broader events. This isn't. This isn't looking for in the future, maybe 10 years from now. Say Christ returns in 10 years.
Yay!
And say when he does, you should expect a red dragon to be there chasing a woman who's about to give birth, right?
But if I say...
Okay, no, that's not right?
Yeah, if I said... to talk about the reality side of it or what it means, if you had somebody that was known in your town for cheating people, right? And I said, that dude is a snake in the grass.
Yeah.
and somebody said, "Is he literally a snake in the grass?" I would be like, "Well, yay! What do you mean?" It means something. It has to
Yeah,
have a
that's
corresponding
right.
reality.
And
so
this means something.
yeah. So the red dragon is
My point in bringing that up, everyone agrees it means something.
yeah.
My point in bringing it up is to notice the inconsistencies that some people have when they approach the book of Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
That they're saying, I'm taking Revelation literally. That's what they're
Yeah.
going to say. That's what they're going to approach to it. And just looking at you, futurists, and I'm taking it literally, except for all the parts that I want to take symbolically.
They're clearly but
Right.
I get the same kind of puckered up about people saying it's just a symbol.
I know,
I hate that
yeah.
too.
So yeah, you just hate everything, Brad.
No, I don't like but people say it so that they can dismiss things.
yeah.
If they say the Lord's Supper is just a symbol, I want to reach over and pull their beard hairs like Nehemiah.
Yeah, and he's not talking about me.
No,
Don't say that. Yeah.
no.
So this is talking about a something, right? And let's identify the people in it, right?
Can you?
Yeah, I think it's. Honestly,
I mean, it says it right here
it's
in my Bible. It says
The-
the woman is Israel.
Does it say that?
It says
Is
the
it your-
woman,
yeah.
comma Israel.
I think it is. I think it's pretty.
I think it's
clearly Israel.
79.2%.
But it's Israel personified as Eve and Mary, though.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. They're depicted in terms of like this prototype woman who is doing something. Really
Here's the
important, right?
thing, man, and this is why the way I'm with Revelation. If somebody said, "I believe that the woman is actually Eve,
Mm-hmm.
and the one that the serpent wants to eat is devour all of humanity," and of course it's Christ. We can talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If somebody said, "I'm convinced of that," I would just have to say, "Okay." I don't know that
Yeah.
that's right, but I get it. That's
I
fine.
mean-
You can't say it's not that
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah. It's like,
or that it's Mary.
yeah,
That it was specifically like some
Just
people say
Mary, yeah.
this is Mary when Jesus was born and Herod's attempt
Mm-hmm.
to kill her when kill Jesus
yeah.
In Bethlehem.
Yeah.
And you might be like,
And that's a niche view. That's not a common view.
No,
like,
but-
neither is like it represents humanity and Satan's trying to kill humans. Those are niche views, not mainstream at all. On any
well, that
level.
Jesus comes from humanity.
Yeah.
I have more sympathy with the Eve view than the Mary view.
The two most common views are that the woman is Israel, and the woman is Mary. Those are like the two most common views, and the people that take it as Mary are generally trying to align chapter 12 with events that have already happened in the scripture. You know, they're trying to like say, okay, this is the unfolding of the story of Jesus Christ on earth.
I'm actually a little more sympathetic to the Eve view. Let me
Yeah.
tell you why.
Yeah.
So I think it is persuasive to me that this is hearkening back to the fall, the original falls,
Yeah, the
where
serpent.
the serpent and the fact that it mentions her labor pains, that she has the sun and the moon under her feet. To me, it's like a harken back to the creation.
That's though. That's the problem with that is that's a reference.
It is.
Yeah, that's the what is that? It's the let me find that reference. What verse is that with the sun and moon? That's verse 1. Yeah, Genesis 37. This is when
Joseph has his dream.
That's right. Look, he said, I had another dream, and this time the sun, moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me. He told his father and brothers, and his father rebuked him. What kind of dream is this that you've had? So it's like a depiction of Israel.
Well,
you know?
I don't know that that's true. It could be a depiction of authority that
Yeah.
Joseph's going to have.
Yeah.
Because in there he has authority. So that's what I think the sun and the moon means. And also you have the 12. So he had the 11 brothers bowing down to him. She has the a crown and 12 stars, which makes it persuasive that maybe it's Israel.
Israel.
But if you
It's
look
both, though. I
Yeah,
think
but if
it's-
you look
yeah.
back from the promise, the dragon that's trying to kill humanity and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
it goes from Eve, I don't think it's incorrect to say this is a representation of how Christ is brought into the world, and that started with Eve, not Israel.
Yeah.
And Israel's a dude. not a woman. And so Israel's a literal man,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I'm sympathetic with this. This is the woman bringing Messiah into the world. Now,
Yeah.
however you want to say that,
Well, how does she do it?
Yeah.
It's through
Having
the
a
nation,
baby.
through the nation, right?
Yeah.
It's Israel
Through Mary.
Yeah, it's Israel
Eventually.
personified as Eve to Mary. And
I
so-
don't know. See, I would say, and I'm not saying you're wrong, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that I think it's womanhood personified.
Well, with the 12 stars, I
Yeah.
think that puts it in the full categories. Okay, you're talking about the nation Israel here. That's where Jesus came from.
Yeah.
Starting with Eve to Mary.
Well, I think what I would say is we do go from Eve to Mary in about one sentence. There, it's
Yeah.
the dragon's trying to kill them all.
Yeah.
He's a dirty dog. And the dragon, by the way, he's not called a dragon in Genesis 3. He's a serpent. So why do we go from serpent to dragon? My opinion on that is that the danger's being magnified. Like, you're starting to see more of the nature
Yeah.
of Satan. Because later he says the dragon, that old serpent, the
Yep,
devil.
Yep, the ancient serpent who's
Yeah.
called the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. The dragon is like it's just a big serpent, you know. It's like it's just a big one, you
You
know.
big old one.
Yeah, the
That's like saying
dangerous-
dragon. I mean, dinosaurs are just
Yeah,
big lizards.
Last week they're not lizards. Last week last week we talked about we mentioned that
That's right, they're birds.
That's right. Yeah, they're not lizards. Yeah, reptiles predate dinosaurs. Yeah.
So do sharks.
Yeah, no, sharks
That
are
is
all
bizarre.
crazy old. Yeah.
Sharks have won the.
You know, like the oldest is like jellyfish and coral and stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's so bananas. Those
So
are super old. Octopus, super old. You know, all those.
octopus may be an alien.
Yeah. No, that's
They
stupid.
crashed here.
yeah,
That's the conspiracy.
that's
And there are no birds.
Yeah.
Those are all
There are
just
no birds?
spies. From
Oh
the
yeah,
government.
yeah. Birds are
Yeah.
birds are drones.
Birds
yeah.
are drones. Yeah.
The Old Testament, like last week we mentioned it briefly. I don't even remember the context, but we were talking about dragons, and that the dragon is also Leviathan in the Old Testament. Isaiah
Yeah.
25, or is it 24?
Job talks about them too.
Job, but it's kind of explicit in Isaiah that this is a agent of evil. Maybe it's 24 or 23. It's in that realm. Man, now I can't remember.
Come on, dude. People are counting on you.
I can't remember now.
All our listeners are hanging on the edge of their car seats.
Oh, yeah, it's 27. That was my bad. 27. Yeah, on that day, the Lord with his relentless, large, strong sword will bring judgment on Leviathan, the fleeing serpent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Leviathan, the twisting serpent. He will slay the monster that is in the sea. And in the Septuagint, the Greek version of the Old Testament, it's Leviathan, it's Drakon, the fleeing serpent.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's that's the connection. It's that this serpent figure is the Leviathan. He's the big bad guy, kind of thing, the primordial evil chaos thing. Right. That's the way they talk about it. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have this red dragon, and he's got 7 heads.
Yeah.
And 10 horns.
Wonder
and,
why.
and the heads were 7 crowns. What's the deal with that, do you think?
Clearly, it's Rome.
Clearly.
Yeah. Well, 7 can mean
It gets
like
explained later.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. So 7 means like complete. It
Yeah.
can be a completion. So it means that 7 heads and 7 crowns means power and
Yeah.
authority is given
this,
to it.
This reference has an explanation to it.
Yeah.
Where John gets told what it is
Yeah.
later on in a couple chapters. The dragon, the beast, and the prophet of the beast that come here in the next couple chapters all share this resemblance. So they have 7 heads, 10 horns, and
One of them got a little horn, and
Yeah.
he talks a lot of trash.
and it says, well, and we'll get there when we read down there. It says that they represent different kings, and some of them have already come, and then there's one that is, and there's one to come. Right? Is what it says. And so Satan is being represented here as a dragon, and the dragon is represented as these nations.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is that Satan is behind the oppressive nations of the world, right?
Yes.
That are attacking and
when
oppressing God's people.
So a lot of the Bible spends time talking about how nations or governments, I guess you might say,
Kings,
are
whatever.
bestial.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
not good.
Man, we already did that with Daniel.
Yeah.
Like Daniel, that's the whole point of the beasts in Daniel's. They represent nations.
Yeah, and they trample and kill.
Yeah.
Like that's what they do.
Yeah.
And so if it weren't for Romans 13, like there's a reason that our forefathers were very nervous about government.
Yeah. What's Romans 13?
That's where it says you got to submit to the government. Or is that 12?
That's 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
You made me doubt myself.
No, I just wanted you to explain.
You got to submit to the government, honor those who are in power over you. That God has made the government to not bear the sword in vain, to be a terror to evil, and to promote that which is good. So you should submit to government. And but other than that, which is true,
Yeah.
Government can turn into the worst persecutor in the world.
I mean, as far as the Bible goes, the government doesn't have a great reputation.
No.
Right? Like,
Well, as far as history goes,
yeah. It's not. I mean, they're not batting 100 over here, batting 1,000. I mean, they're
No.
batting 100 basically.
No.
Yeah, and so
and the devil uses it
yeah,
to kill people.
yes,
He loves that.
and that's when you read the Revelation, Satan is deeply tied to world powers.
Yeah.
Deeply tied. He's the power behind the power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you get right here. And you think about the story of from Eve through Israel to Mary that brings about Jesus Christ. And what are the oppressive powers that are trying to thwart the plan of God to bring about the Messiah? Well, it's Philistines, it's Babylon, it is the
Assyria.
nations. It's Egypt. Yeah,
Egypt.
big one, right? Assyria, the Persians. It is these nations. Rome, right? Yeah, and so that it tracks, right? God is producing Messiah, and there is opposition to that, and it takes a form of these world powers, right?
But specifically, rulers.
Yes,
Rulers, governments that have kings
Mm-hmm.
very often wind up being real bad real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, tyrants.
Yeah.
Herod's there trying
Yeah,
to kill
that's right.
Jesus.
In Herod, they're all the same. You think of like you go all the way back to Pharaoh, who's trying to kill the little babies
Yeah.
in Egypt. You have.
He wasn't trying.
No, you're right. You have.
He did it.
The story with Esther.
Yeah.
And who was the ruler during that?
Darius?
Was it Darius?
Is it Darius? I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a common thing. Like these rulers are trying to kill the children that would be the producers of Jesus, and of course you got Herod and Mary.
Yeah.
trying to kill Mary, and so she gives birth to a son, and most Bibles are going to capitalize that son because the meaning is pretty clearly Jesus, because it says a male who is going to rule all nations with an iron rod. That is a direct reference for Christ from the Psalms. Her child
And
was,
Genesis, yeah.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
The scepter will not depart from him.
That's
It's
right.
right back to Genesis, was that 49,
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. I think I was thinking Psalm 2 with
Jacob's
that, but
blessing
that
to
is.
Judah.
Yep. Psalm 2 is based on that.
Yeah.
So her child was caught up to God and to his throne. And there you get the whole ministry of Jesus in one sentence right there. It's like he was born and then he was caught up to God.
Yeah, that's what
and to
I'm
his
saying.
throne.
So when I say Eve to Mary happens in a verse, I do think that's right. And here we go from Jesus being born to caught up to heaven, which is his ascension.
Yeah.
It happens within a verse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the devil tried to catch him, but he missed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not trying to depict all those things. It's trying to say something about Satan and his involvement in history is what the point is
And
here.
he swept away a third of the stars.
Yeah. That's
Man, we
right.
used to have more stars in the sky.
Yeah. He swept away.
Clearly,
the
literal
stars.
stars.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're angels, right?
What?
Yeah. And later on in this passage, it calls them angels.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
why
I'm
you
just
know,
teasing.
Yeah.
That is some weird stuff we don't know much about,
Yeah. What's that? What do you mean?
like the war in heaven.
Yeah, we're gonna read about it next. It's the next part. It's right
Yeah, I
here,
know,
verse 7.
but it's in this book, which
Yeah.
it's really hard to understand. But like, there was a war in heaven, bro.
I guess.
I get some kind of something happened.
And that's the hard part. Is like, are we Are we? What's the real thing behind the imagery?
The war in heaven.
What is the real thing behind it? You're not looking for, so you're not going to look for a dragon, right? You're looking for a malevolent figure that's, contrary to God.
I'm not 100% sure he's not a dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter though.
He was a serpent in the garden. He's a weirdo, dude. I don't know.
I know that's
He can probably appear however he wants.
yeah, but
I don't know.
you have the depiction already saying
Mm-hmm.
the 7 heads represent kings.
Oh yeah.
So there's a breakdown between the reality of it and its presentation.
Dude, he's like one of them 3D image pictures that you got to look at, and it looks like one thing,
Is it
and it turns into
holographic?
something. Yeah, it's like whoa,
That's
this is
funny.
weird. This is creepy.
Yeah. So that's my point. Is like I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what he does. You have like another passage that was it. What's the passage that says he disguises himself as
It's an angel of light.
Yeah, and so that's
God,
interesting.
He's sneaky.
I don't know that you should be trying to look for a form for Satan. Like a physical form. The thing though about the war in heaven is like, is that the real thing behind the imagery? Or not. I don't really know, but I think it's a fine thing to assume that there's something like that.
Well, they got thrown down. I mean, that seems like they got some.
They're not there anymore.
They ain't.
I think
and they're here.
Yeah. And so let's read that passage. Let's read that section. Let me finish up a couple things with that thing. So you have the previous passage. Satan has pursued the woman, people of God. She gives birth to Jesus. And then the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared by God to be nursed there for 1,260 days. And that's the half of 7, right? That's a half a year, 3.5 years. And that is presumably the
Half the tribulation,
the
right?
righteous remnant. I was going to say the righteous remnant of Israel who are taken care of. Like they're pursuing the Lord. They believe, they're believers. And they're being nourished and taken care of by God. In verse 7, you get the war. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
Well, it doesn't say that. It says, and there was a war in heaven. We don't know exactly when did this war happen?
Oh, I don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. Keep reading.
The dragon and his angels also fought. And there you have the stars. Okay, another angels, right? But he could not prevail, and there was no place for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was thrown out, the ancient serpent who's called the devil and Satan, the one who deceives the whole world. He was thrown to earth, and his angels with him. So, all right, yeah, that's the first question that people have when they look at this is very obviously, and it's a common question, like source of speculation is like, when did this happen?
It's actually not clear when it happened.
Oh no, very not clear.
I have a 52% thought on this.
Where are you at 52%? Well, let's give the options first, and then you can give your.
Okay.
So the options are that this happened in the deep past.
Yeah, like before creation or
Yeah,
somewhere
so
around
that-
Genesis 1.
That's right. Whenever Satan shows up in the garden as this serpent, this has already happened.
Yes.
He's already rebelled. He already has a third of the angels.
So if
and
you
stuff.
look at one of the most famous, came from your old school, DTS, was the whole gap theory of creation.
Yeah.
It's in the beginning, God creates the heavens and the earth. And between that and the next verse, there's the war in heaven.
Yeah.
And that's the gap. Lots of stuff happened. Dinosaurs were here, all kind of crazy stuff. And then we pick back up.
Yeah.
And so one option is it happened in an unknown primordial past around creation.
Yeah.
Around the creation of man,
Yep.
because a lot of them will say, well, the creation of man provoked Satan to jealousy, which is really not in the Bible.
No.
But for some reason, he does hate our guts.
It comes from an extra biblical source.
Yeah,
The Apocalypse of Moses.
yeah.
Or the life of Adam and Eve. That's Satan has attributed jealousy towards humans for their creation.
Yeah, because they're made special, image of God kind of deal.
Yeah.
And so, what might be true, I don't know. But so that's one, is it happened in the primordial past.
Yeah. Another option is that this happened at the birth of Jesus or around the life of Jesus, people would say. So you have the passage before it depicting Jesus's birth and then his ascension, and then war broke out. And so the idea is like that this war happened sometime around, and you have the two options go like this. Well, if how it reads like this happened after he ascended to heaven. But they look at the Gospels and they say out of nowhere, because this doesn't happen in the Old Testament. You don't have a lot of Satan in the Old Testament. Out of nowhere, Satan is now like public enemy number one, and Jesus doesn't stop talking about him. He has a confrontation with him right at the beginning of his ministry. He talks about him a lot as this figure that's contrary to God, and so he seems to be already at war in the gospel. So maybe this happened at the birth or somewhere around the birth. And like I said, the other option is that it would happen after his resurrection and ascension.
Yeah.
And then
he went to heaven, got his boys.
Yeah.
Said,
so those are three options. And then the fourth option is that this is a future event. A future event that war is not broken out yet in heaven. And this is something that's going to happen near the return of Christ. Mm-hmm. So what's your 52% you said?
I think it is the middle one. I tend to lean towards it's the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ when they finally get kicked out.
Yeah.
Maybe his birth, because Jesus said, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven.
Yeah.
Because, and this is not, I don't have a great degree of certainty on it.
Yeah.
But we know in Job that Satan is weirdly kind of hanging around up in heaven.
It seems to be doing his job.
Yeah,
he's doing his job.
He's up there, like, where have you been? He's like, he's kind of grumpy.
The passage in Zechariah.
He's sort of like a Sauron in the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. He was corrupted before people really kind of realized that he was corrupted.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that.
We don't know
that.
But that's kind of the vibe. All I'm saying is a vibe.
Satan in Hebrew means accuser.
Yeah.
And that in the Old Testament, that's what he does. He accuses, but it's like he accuses as his job description, supplies.
Like he's up. If you want to go into another piece of pop culture, he's like Javert in Les Miserables.
Oh yeah.
His Javert is the man of law. He cannot let it go.
He's the he's Two-Face.
Yeah.
In Batman. DA.
Yeah.
He was a DA, but who got dirty.
Yeah.
And so he's like the prosecutor, making accusations, but as early as the very beginning, he's not just making accusations, he's also tempting people to sin so that he can accuse.
Yeah. Yeah. See, my favorite fictional portrayal of him, I think, is Javert, because he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Jean Valjean is a criminal.
Yeah.
And he did escape.
Yeah.
And he did do some bad stuff.
Yeah.
And but he's doing he's been restored by grace, right?
Yeah,
That's it. Jean Valjean is the guy of grace.
Yeah.
And he keeps doing all these great things. Mm-hmm. But Javert cannot let it go.
What a great one. What a great one.
Oh, my goodness, man.
So good. Yeah.
So good. It really is. And I'm not a musical guy.
Oh, that's one of the best.
But when he sings that song about his prison number when he goes in court, and he says, I am...
You're talking about the Hugh Jackman one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, my goodness.
It's one of the best musicals I've filmed, out there. It's so good.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
I feel like Javert's portrayal was a little weak in that movie, but other than that, man.
Who played
it? Was Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, and he's like because he's kind of a medium. I mean, he's a professional singer. Obviously, he has a job doing it. Gets paid much money,
but he didn't stack with the people they surrounded him with.
Hugh Jackman is so good, and Hathaway did a great job. Yeah, she can sing. Yeah,
people are like, are they seriously nerding out about Les Mis? Yes, we are. Yeah. We don't care.
We are
Judge
cultured.
Us. Yeah. Well, it's just a great story, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. What were we talking about with this?
That Satan is like Javert.
That's right.
He was the accuser.
Yeah, he's accuser.
That was his job.
That's his job. That's what he does in Zechariah. That passage where he brings up the high priest, in Zechariah. He does it with Jesus, right?
Uh-huh.
When he tempts Jesus.
Yeah, he does.
And because he's trying to form an accusation against Jesus.
He
cannot be accused because he's righteous completely.
Very frustrating for the devil.
Very frustrating, yeah.
So I was saying, I think that's when this happens.
After
is after the birth of Christ. At some point, I lean towards crucifixion and resurrection, because as we've seen, time is really weird in this passage. And so I think so. It makes more sense to me than the beginning, because we see so much different kinds of activity from Satan, and it seems like the war is getting serious when Jesus is here.
You want to hear my 51%?
You don't agree with me?
I'm a 50. This is 51.
You used to be 52, but I pushed you down a percent.
No, I'm like, this is like 50.2.
Here, let's hear it.
Okay, it's future.
Really?
Not 50.2.
Like this is
I don't hold this. I know. Yeah.
You became a futurist.
No.
He did it. No. Write it down.
Futurists put this in the past.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yes.
The futurists put it in the past.
Oh yes, certainly. Yes, This is a past event, right? In the future, this is me pointing out their inconsistencies, right? This is a past event. They'll either go with the cap theory that this happened in ages past, before fall of Adam and Eve, or they'll put this also.
That's actually my least thought.
I don't buy that
because it's not mentioned.
Yeah,
there's no clue whatsoever.
No.
But the devil is there.
Here's why I go 50.2, because when you get the poem after this, there's some things in here that make me think this is part of the idealist. Things are ongoing, like the way the Revelation is depicting the age is this like an ongoing situation. In this, the poem that comes from that makes me think that it says, so after he is thrown to earth and his angels with him, then I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, the salvation and the power and the kingdom of God and the authority of his Christ have now come. All right. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Because the accuser of our brothers and sisters who accuses them before our God day and night has been thrown down. And it says they conquered him by the blood of by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, for they did not love their lives to the point of death. He's talking about martyrs, right?
Yeah.
Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you dwell in them. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you with great fury, because he knows his time is short. Man, and it's hard to deal with the presence of the martyrdom in this poem depicting what happens to Satan and say that this is something that was happened in the past. I hold it super loose.
I actually think if I were going to be an amillennialist, this is the passage that would convince me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Kim Riddle-Barter's book, Case for Amillennialism, he has one of the coolest dedications. It says, in memory of my ancestors who died in Christ, and he has his forefathers listed there. And underneath it, he says, they have come to life and are reigning with Christ for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And so they would look at this passage, an amillennialist, and say, this is now. Satan was thrown. Amillennialists will say, I hate to speak for people, but I think this is accurate. Most amillennialists will say that Satan was cast down in the life of Jesus. He bound the strong man.
Yeah.
You know, at that passage where it talks about if you'd known when the guy was going to break into your house, you know, you bind the strong man. And that's where he says, I saw Satan fall like lightning. And so they would say that Satan is bound now. That's amillennialism. He's already thrown in the pit, and there's the chain, and he's sealed up so that he can no longer go forth and deceive the nations, because the gospel is going out and he can't stop it like he used to stop it. And so what you have here is Jesus casts Satan down in his incarnation, triumphs over him in his death and resurrection, and that this is their idealist version is they're being martyred all along the way. Yeah. And of course there's going to be a climax to the end. And I actually think that's a pretty great.
Here's what pushes me to the future too, is the rest of the New Testament. You have Jesus saying to Peter and the disciples, Satan has asked to sift you like wheat. Right?
Yeah.
And Jesus said, I prayed for you.
But he lets him.
He lets him.
Yeah.
And there's some sort of exchange there, right? Jesus, that Satan asked. You have Paul twice tells the church, hand them over to Satan.
Yeah.
Why? And what's their...
That they may be taught not to blaspheme.
Yes. Weird. right? There's Satan is still doing what he was supposed to do. He's still making accusations.
This is weird Warhammer stuff.
Yeah.
People don't know Warhammer. The Horus Heresy.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about Warhammer.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's so weird.
Yeah.
So Horus is the son of the emperor.
Okay.
One of the sons. They're not really sons, but they are kind of sons.
Okay.
And
this is deep nerd stuff.
and there's they go through to travel. They go through a thing called the warp, which is basically hell. Okay, so you have to warp through hell to get to places. Anyway, so Horus is the most powerful of all of his brothers, and he has a dream of the kingdom of the emperor has taken over.
Okay.
And all of his brothers have statues and streets named for them.
Okay.
And he can't find his.
Mm-hmm.
And the demons, he doesn't know because they're like disguised as like angels of light or something. I'm a little vague on this part of the story. Say, look, your dad doesn't love you. You don't have a street there.
Mm-hmm.
And so he starts getting jealous of his brothers, and he rebels against his father.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like, if you read this as futurist
Mm-hmm.
and Satan's still doing his job now,
Mm-hmm.
then he is like doomed to fall.
Yeah.
But it
has been.
Yeah, but
From
I think
Genesis 3.
Yeah,
right?
he's well, you could even read Genesis 3 as him doing his job.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say God didn't say.
Then
He just says,
I
has
know.
God really said?
Yeah, he is doing his job. And from then, still, even in the curse, like she's gonna strike the offspring's gonna strike your head.
Yeah.
You're gonna bruise your head.
So
it's
it's-
like you got the warning, you got
Yeah.
the prophecy right back then.
So I think Satan fell a long time ago, but I think that also he keeps falling, and he's just doing dumb stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Because I am
Yeah.
of the opinion that sin is insanity.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I don't know if this is the thing. I don't know this. I'm pushing a speculation button. You have to when you're talking about the motives involved with Satan because you don't know. The Bible doesn't tell you. Like, remember the jealousy.
It doesn't
and stuff?
tell us. Yeah,
That's extra.
we
biblical.
don't know why,
We don't know why.
and we don't know when.
And so, if you don't know why, what do? You're gonna impart your own sensibilities onto him.
Yeah,
You're gonna write him in your own image, right? Or how? Like, it makes, and that's why you get the Apocalypse of Moses, Life
Yeah.
of Adam and Eve, who write in the motivation for Satan. Now, you do have in Timothy about the elders. There's a thing about the elders. Remember that section? Don't
lay hands on a young man unless he become puffed up with the pride of Satan
Yeah,
and
the
fall.
pride of Satan. Yeah.
Yeah, and also we know from Jude that the devil's up to no good.
Yeah.
This
He's been a
weird
murderer from the start.
apocryphal.
Yeah.
Well, no, he says just as Satan and Michael quarreled over the body of Moses, Michael did not dare to bring a railing accusation against him, but said, "The Lord rebuke you."
Yeah.
So he was doing some antichrist stuff.
Yeah.
Way back on Moses'
But
day.
you don't get the person of Satan in the Bible. You don't get like a the Atlantic didn't get to write a what do they call
Puff
it?
piece.
A profile on Satan, so you can understand his background, where he
No,
came from, what he's
I
doing.
mean,
and all that
really,
kind of
that's
stuff.
what we're saying.
Yeah.
If you said, I'm going to do a study on the Satan from the Old Testament,
You get 3 verses.
you get
pal.
like maybe
3
4.
passages.
Yeah,
is
3
what
passages.
You get.
That's it.
And one of them one of them you're making the jump that the serpent Satan.
Yeah,
right?
you talking about the Isaiah passage?
Well, no, I was
Oh.
talking about Genesis 2.
Oh, yeah.
Genesis 3, I mean. So that one, but it doesn't say Satan there, but you can make that claim.
Well, a
You
Revelation figures it out.
Yeah, that's right. You get Job, and you get a one sentence weird thing between Kings and Chronicles, right? Where it says that Satan stood against David. And then in the Kings one, it says God stood against David.
Yeah.
In that moment, you remember that one? And then
Yeah.
you get the Zechariah passage, which is one verse too.
Well, it also gets confusing because sometimes it'll say, and an evil spirit was sent upon Saul. And then sometimes it'll say God sent an evil
That's
spirit.
the one. Yeah, that's the passage. That's
And,
yeah,
gosh, there's one more.
it's Satan.
I
yeah,
thought
in that
about.
one. Yeah.
It'll come back to me. But
Those are the
there's
only. Those are the
there's
only.
there's
references.
maybe
Yeah.
an implicit in Daniel when Gabriel comes,
the Prince of Persia.
the Prince of Persia.
Yeah, that would be a stretch.
It's definitely some sort of
So,
antichrist
you said,
demonic
so
entity.
here's the thing. So the Prince of Persia could be Satan. Here's a weird thing. Old old dead guys who read the Bible and wrote stuff thought of Michael as Christ in a similar sense. That, you know, with the root of Michael in Hebrew, right? King of God, right? You know, God's king. Michael, or was it?
Oh yeah, the Jehovah's Witnesses be tickled with that.
Yeah, they didn't make it up. They got it from old dead people who wrote. And so like you'd have these theophanies in the Old Testament when Michael shows up.
Yeah, they think Michael is a theophany.
Yeah, that Michael is a theophany, right?
That means a pre-incarnate appearance of
Jesus.
And I think there's a couple of them that happen for sure, but never when he's called Michael. I think Michael's a separate entity.
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty clear to me.
There's a interesting thing though that some people make in Revelation, where the war broke out in heaven. You have Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon, and that the victory for this battle is given to Christ. It's Jesus' victory over Satan, but Michael did the fighting, and they see that connection.
He also
grabs.
He's the one that grabs him up and chains him. Michael does.
Yeah. But they say, this is a way to talk about Jesus.
Yeah.
They would say that Michael is a way to talk about Jesus.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
if you get back to Origin and those guys, when you go into the what do we call it? Their interpretive model, where
allegory.
When you go into allegory, you can make it mean whatever the heck you want.
You can get bogged down
some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You need a potty break. All right. We'll be right back, folks. Yeah. All right. Where were we? We were talking about
the devil, and he was when he fell and all that such like.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So here we are. Our options were like when Satan fell, basically the deep past.
When did he sin?
When did he? Yeah, that's the question.
When did he sin? I don't know.
In the New Testament, where is it? Jesus says, "You are in John. You are a murderer from the start."
Yeah.
He was a murderer from the start.
From the beginning.
Beginning. Murder. That's sin.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to.
But then again, he can't kill anybody without permission.
That's right. Yeah.
So weird.
It's difficult, and that's it was talking about the moment with Job with the murder and the death that came from Eve and Adam.
Yeah, man.
And also Cain. Cain murdering Abel. Sin's crouching at the door.
Yep.
Right. So Satan's part of this. My point is like it's hard to like pin down the personhood of Satan.
Yeah.
And you're wanting to apply a human perspective that we're not the same.
It's also like sometimes the Bible doesn't answer questions the way we want them or the way we do. So if I ask you, when was Peter converted?
Yeah.
Like, what was his conversion experience?
Yeah, you could say a lot of different things.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different moments.
What we've been doing John in Sunday school, and we finished this week, right? And the last thing in John 21 is the restoration of Peter.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful spot. Feed my sheep. Feed my sheep. Right. It goes back to the feeding of the 5,000, and it's sort of that. And he says he's by a charcoal fire, and charcoal fire only happens one other time in the Bible, and that's in John when he betrays Jesus 3 times, and then 3 times he restores him. Yeah. Anyway. There's a lot to that. And it's a beautiful moment of restoration. And I always like to teach people, the moment Peter does something right, he's fixing to do something stupid. And at the very end of the book, the very end, Jesus says, when you were young, you used to go wherever you wanted to go. But when you get old, they're going to bind you, and you're going to go where you don't want to go. And John says, he was speaking of Peter's martyrdom, right? And that's a pretty solemn moment. Yeah. And then it says that John is nearby, or the one that Jesus kept loving is nearby. And Peter looks at him. This is the end of the gospel. Like you think, they finally got it. He's restored. And he goes, what's going to happen to him? And Jesus goes, if I want him to remain until I come back, what is that to you? And then it says, and thus began the rumor that John would not die until Jesus returned. But that is not what Jesus said. He just said, if I wanted him to, what is that to you? Yeah. And so what's funny is even at the very end of the book, when you think they finally got it, they're still fussing about, well, what's going to happen to this guy?
Yeah.
And so was Peter a Christian then? Yeah, reckon.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for the moment where he's perfect, to call that a Christian is like you don't understand what it means to be a Christian.
The whole
It's
point
like,
is, and also, just so y'all know, dear listeners, John and Peter clearly had a big brother, little brother relationship.
They had something going on.
No
yeah,
doubt about
yeah.
it. Because John takes a little dig at him, a friendly, brotherly dig, every chance he gets in his gospel.
Yeah, he does.
He does. And
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not talking about his failures.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking about like, and Peter took off to run to the tomb, but John overtook him and beat him there. It's like stuff like that.
It is. It's kind of funny.
It's
yeah.
like
There's some humor in there. I think.
like digs. Yeah.
The so we don't know why Satan has done what he's doing.
I know.
Exactly. Like, and it's probably not like you. You're a human. He's not a human.
No, I would say that
he's
Satan
not
is probably
made in the image of God.
not the way we are.
Yeah.
And he may be emotionally, morally, ethically, vastly more complex than we are,
Or simple.
or very simple.
Way simple.
I don't know.
It could go either way. Like he might.
He's been around a while. Surely
Yeah.
he learned more than I have.
Well, he might be to you like a foil. You
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know if he's like.
Well, I know we're going to get to this in Revelation. When he's finally judged,
Mm-hmm.
all of the saints will be shocked and say, "This is the guy who deceived the whole world." Like, how could this happen?
Yeah.
It's kind of like
yeah, it is. There's
the
you're
idea
right, yeah.
of like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, how did we fall for this guy?
That's right. That
Yeah.
makes me think like maybe it's not complexity and intelligence.
We might
and all
be
this kind
we
of
might
stuff.
be attributing it to him because we're intelligent.
Yes.
And,
That's right.
and that's a mistake.
Yeah.
It's sort of like thinking cats care about you.
Yeah. I mean, no, it is similar to someone who is radicalized about a view from a 15-second reel that they see on the internet, though. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, and this happens, like you might get some sound bites and all of a sudden start forming some thoughts from some really strong opinions based on your sound bites. And it's like, there's a potential that's kind of how this relationship with Satan and sin works. And with the motivation of Satan is
Well, I think thinking how you think is how other people think is a dumb thing to fall into.
oh yeah.
And I try to explain this to people, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but a lot of times we what we call it projection, right?
Yeah.
This person's thinking this way or going to do this because actually that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know if you're out there and you're thinking somebody like I am a analytical person, right? And I sometimes can get overwhelmed and not move forward because I see all the different things that could possibly happen, right? If I do this, these 27 things can happen. Somebody else may have, and I'm not saying they're dumb, might have a simpler mind, and they just do stuff because they're just like, oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think, man, they must be really smart and have thought through every option. No, they
Didn't think about
they
that at
didn't
all.
think about it
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they don't.
You have analysis paralysis.
Yeah, analysis paralysis. So I tell people sometimes you got people who make like 13 on the ACT,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got people who make like 36s, 35s. Those people don't think the same way.
Yeah.
But the person who made the 35 will go through life thinking that everybody thinks like they do, and it's a mistake.
Yeah.
So you might be projecting some ethical and moral reasoning onto Satan because of what you think and are.
That's right.
That may not belong to him. It might be totally foreign.
Yeah. I mean, if
Or he could be way more advanced. We don't know.
it's all been written down in the book,
Yeah.
his fall and destruction, and doesn't seem to be influencing what he's doing at all.
Yeah. Well,
Which
a lot of
is-
things in the Bible don't make sense, man.
Right?
Like
My big point on that is though, you just shouldn't be you probably shouldn't be trying to understand
not too.
motivations.
Well, it's sort of
or-
like this. Adam and Eve walked in the garden with Almighty God. In the cool of the day, sometimes they walked around with God.
Mhm.
what are they doing eating the fruit? Does that make any sense to you?
Oh, exactly.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Now, and you're like, yeah, they were stupid. What Israel saw the plagues
Yeah.
of Egypt? Why in the heck are they not trusting God?
Hey, why did you lie?
Yeah. Or
Right?
Yeah.
Like you know the damage that lies bring.
But here's
you
the
and your
deal,
son.
man.
No,
If you
yeah.
could jump outside yourself and watch yourself as a third
Exactly.
person,
Yeah.
you would be like, that is the stupidest person I've ever seen.
Yep.
I love it and hate it when somebody is talking about their sin and they've clearly like self-justified, and you're in a room full of people and they say something absurd and there's 5 people in the room and the only person buying it is the person saying it,
Yeah.
and they will not listen to those other people.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows what you just said is stupid
Yeah.
except you, because you've spent the last 2 years convincing yourself this is the thing I should do, and I'm not listening to anybody. So I don't know what devil's doing.
Yeah.
It ain't my business, really.
It's really not.
But I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
He's trying to kill everybody.
The big takeaway from the war in heaven and the throwing out is that it happens.
Happened, or is happening.
It is it is.
Yeah.
As Revelation says, it was and is to come. Right. It
Yeah.
says that about lots of different things. That in the end there's victory from Christ over Satan. And,
I know what I wanted to say. I don't know that verse 11 is not necessarily all martyrs. It's anybody who dies in Christ.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, because you can't love your life more than
They conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. I don't know. It's
the
like
word of their testimony.
it's
That's going to be
just-
you though. If you're 95 years old and you're like, I still love.
Oh, I don't
Jesus.
mean. I just mean Jesus had to have already died. It's the blood of the
yeah,
Lamb.
yeah,
That's what I
okay,
mean.
okay.
That's
Sorry,
my
man.
point about
Sorry,
the
I'm
future
dumb.
thing. Is like it's the blood of the Lamb is part of their confession in their victory. How does that happen if that isn't in the past? Right. That's my point. That's what pushes me to the 0.2% that has me at the resurrection, ascension, or the future some point. Presumably right before his return.
There's some other weird stuff here, man.
Yeah.
Golly.
After that, we won't go into this next part, but basically the dragon
Thrown down to there.
is thrown down to the earth and persecutes the woman who's protected, and then persecutes her children. And that's just a way to talk about, and everyone pretty much agrees that this is a way to talk about the persecution that Christians are under in this present day and age, and or in the future, because if you're like a futurist or something.
Yeah. Well, who is the woman? Is it still Israel, or is it now the church? Because some people think the woman
it's
is the
Israel
church. Yeah.
in her offspring that Satan decides to go chase after are the church. Is the church. So that's how they would say that.
And they get wings like eagles and rise up
And
and fly away.
it's pretty much unanimous on that. Like there's not much difference between even the futurists and the idealists on that. And then you get the beast. Right? This is everyone likes to talk about the beast and the mark of the beast. So the dragon stood on the sand of the sea. And I saw a beast coming up out of the sea. And look how similar it is. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, just like the dragon, right? On its horns were 10 crowns. And on its heads were blasphemous names. And so you have the crowns, the horns, all this kind of stuff. It's eerily similar to the dragon. The beast I saw was like a leopard. Its feet were like a bear's, and its mouth was like a lion's mouth. I guess presumably its mouths. The dragon gave the beast his power, his throne, and his great authority. One of its heads appeared to be fatally wounded, but its fatal wound was healed. And the whole earth was amazed and followed the beast. They worshiped the dragon because he gave authority to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like the beast, who is able to wage war against it. They love it, right? They're all in on this beast. And remember, the beast is a way to talk about powers, nations, leaders, something along those lines. The beast was given a mouth to utter boasts and blasphemies. It was allowed to exercise authority for 42 months. It began to speak blasphemies against God. It does bad stuff. Everyone starts to worship it. Every tribe, people, language, all that kind of stuff, right? That's me summarizing in the rest of that passage so we don't read the whole thing, right? Then I saw another beast, verse 11, coming out of the earth, and it had 2 horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. Okay, so this is probably something that had like a beast, power, whatever, world authority that has the appearance of righteousness, looking like a lamb, but it speaks like a dragon, right?
Like false prophets, false messiahs.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a false prophet. It exercises all the authority of the first beast on its behalf and compels the earth and those who live on it to worship the first beast. And so this is sometimes called the prophet of the beast or something, right? It also performs great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to earth in front of people. It deceives those who live on the earth because of the signs that it is permitted to perform in the presence of the beast, telling those who live on the earth to make an image of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. Is permitted to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast could speak and cause whoever would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. There's a lot going on there. It ends with this, and it makes everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, the beast's name, or the number of its name. And then it says the number of the beast is 666, right? It's the number of a person. So,
616. It's a textual.
Yeah, there's a textual. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Number.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute. Let's deal with this. The presence of this beast, though, to begin with, looks just like Satan, acts just like Satan. But you have this prophet.
Well, it looks kind of like Jesus. The prophet looks like
Jesus.
Yeah,
but is not.
Yeah.
He's false, right? And it's doing some weird stuff. Like the prophet is doing signs, like performing signs, and seems to have spiritual power. It's got the appearance of this power. It seems the ability to have this power. And it is causing great idolatry, huge idolatry. This is like an idolatrous revival, right? That's happening because not only is he wooing people into worshiping the beast and Satan through the beast, through his signs, he's able to give breath to the image of the beast, the idol of the beast, so that the image of the beast could both speak and cause whoever would not worship the image of the beast to be killed.
Yes.
And so this is like a way. Well, I guess what I'm saying is the main point is like this is vast idolatry, right? Is that what's going on here?
It's clearly AI.
AI,
yeah, for sure. We are so close.
That's
y'all.
funny.
You're
close. Right off the deep end on futurism. Yeah, on that.
Was that the deep end?
Yeah,
I think that's the shallowest. It's obvious to me, having dealt with AI. This is what's happening.
Really? Are you? Okay, you're not.
I don't know. It's kind of spooky though.
Yeah. Well, that's where you come down to the interpretation part. Are you looking for something? Are you looking for this thing? Or are you looking for the thing behind the thing? Right.
Yeah.
Are you looking for the literal I mean that literal fulfillment of this, or are you looking for what it's describing over time?
Yeah.
And I think what I like the idealist approach here when it comes to this, because there are as John says, there are lots of antichrists. There are lots of things that produce idolatry and push idolatry. And this age is an age marked by idolatry.
Yeah, what is the deal with the mark of the beast in the forehead and the hand? You can't buy food or nothing.
Well, it stands in contrast to the mark on God's
yeah,
elect.
right. Yeah,
it's the opposite of that.
Yes.
Right after this, you have all of the redeemed from humanity who have this mark on their foreheads. It says his Father's name written on their foreheads. And so this is a way to talk about the wheat and the weeds. It's a way to talk about those who are righteous and follow Christ and are redeemed by Christ, and those who reject Christ is who it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is the inability to buy or sell goods representative of? If it's not a literal thing, what does that mean?
I don't know.
I know. Well, this is why, like, pre-trib, pre-mill is so, I don't want to say alluring, but why people believe it
to have
because
like
they
a really
can,
nice
because
answer.
they can say,
Yeah.
well, in the end, You're not going to be able to buy stuff unless you receive the mark of the beast, and it's probably going to be a microchip in your hand or head.
Microchip they said about credit cards and
Yeah,
stuff.
but then we started getting microchips.
Yeah.
People are like, oh,
Every
that's
time,
good.
Donald Trump talked about getting rid of the penny recently, and it's going to happen. They're going to get rid of the penny, and so eventually,
Like everybody
it's
else.
going to be digital currency, and it's the mark of the beast. They're going to have complete control, world government, you know, all that kind of stuff. And
I mean, there's 35% chance they're right.
35?
I think it's pretty high.
I don't think it's 35.
I don't know, man. It keeps getting more and more suspicific.
No, I think there's a difference between what the idolatry that's associated here with the passage. This is about idolatry that comes from the worship of what is created instead of the creator. I think there's a difference between that and the efficiency of a cashless system, right? The only overlap they have is this: you can't buy or sell something unless you have a mark. But the mark's already been identified as complete rejection of Christ, right? And so
Given over to the world system.
yeah, I just think that it's like I think it's like a convenient a convenient coincidence in that regard, like that we right now in this age are kind of like moving towards cashless systems, and also there's this thing that talks about can't buy something, but this can mean other stuff too.
Well, I'll just tell you this.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe you some. But if they come around and start saying you can't buy unless you take this chip in your head or hand, I ain't doing it.
You can't. No, look, here's the thing. You cannot. It is impossible for you who are faithful followers of Jesus to accept the mark of the beast.
You can't do it.
You cannot do it. It's
No.
literally impossible for you. So whatever it is, you're in no danger of
No.
accepting the mark of the beast.
No, because you love Jesus.
You cannot do it.
It's
so
not-
look, if next month, like they came out with a chip that went in your hand or something, so you can easily buy things. I have this Apple Watch. I can buy things off my Apple Watch right here, right?
You're already
and
done. You're
I'm already
toast.
done.
He wears
Right.
it on his left hand just to be in case.
I do actually.
It says right hand on it.
But it's just because that's how I look at my
Well,
watch.
you don't want to be the devil.
I'll
Don't
put
do
it-
it. Do
I'll
not
put
change
it on
that
my
thing.
right
If you
hand
put that on your right hand,
hand.
look, he just gave himself over.
Yeah, I
We
do
know
that.
when his fall was now. We don't know about the devils. We
But
know
it's-
about Justin.
And it automatically does it. Did you know it automatically swaps the face? No, of course it does. It's just the same way. But if I flip it like this, you can set it to be like.
Oh, I'll be
You
dope.
can set it to be the other hand. Anyways, it's impossible for you to accept the mark of the beast if you're a faithful follower of Christ, because it's not about a chip. It's about your allegiance to Christ.
Yeah. Well, we didn't talk about the number yet either.
We want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He wants to make sure it's not a microchip.
Well, I want to make sure that people don't think that they can just like accidentally fall into unredeemable sin, right? It says later here, the people who accept the mark of the beast are going to burn forever and ever.
Yeah.
Soul from fire, right? Like, you're not going to do that by accident if you're a follower
No.
of Christ.
There's the unpardonable sin is not accepting a microchip.
That's right. It's not accepting Christ.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So I think what you could say, the possibility about the buying or selling.
It's funny. Nobody thinks when it talks about the righteous of God being sealed in their foreheads that they're receiving a microchip.
No, they don't. Right.
Nobody says that.
No.
But it's because of the tie-in with the buying and selling.
Yeah.
That's why they think it must be a real
Well,
like a
I mean, we're
thing.
talking about beasts, and beasts are these powers, world powers, and it affects real things. You know, there is, and there was certainly in the first century an economic cost to following Christ. There are these stories from the first century, first couple centuries of Christians who were kicked out of guilds and barred from, guild meetings and the opportunities to work because of their faith in Christ. Those are real things. There's an economic cost to following Christ for a lot of people. There's an economic cost for following Christ in the world today, right? So, if you live in, Morocco or, say North Africa or something, and you're openly a Christian, you think you're going to get much business?
No.
Heck no. You're actually probably just going to get killed.
You're going to get dead.
Yeah. And so there's a cost. And I think that's kind of like what it's getting at here. I try to resist the urge to go straight to realism when I've just taken the whole passage because I was told to. In the next passage is going to tell you how to interpret this. I was just told to take it as a there's something this is depicting behind it, the symbol of it, you know.
Yeah, the other thing is you wind up writing weird books about blood moons and junk.
Yeah, and so you need to resist like going where the Bible literally is about to tell you don't go, don't do that. So let's talk about the number. This is a weird passage. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, because it is the number of a person. It's number 666. And I always think I actually love this number in a lot of ways, only because of how weird it makes people feel. If you're like been at a grocery store and you check out and it's like $6.66, and they're like, what is this? This is freaky, and they're like add a cent to it or something to make it 6.7. Yeah. There's a lot of funny stories people have about like weird 666 things.
Yeah.
It freaks them out. Monster Energy drink. Do you remember the scare about monsters?
This was
the
claw marks or somehow.
It had like a
it's
666 thing. Yeah.
It's a sheen, which is for Satan.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you think's going on with this number, man?
I don't have the foggiest idea, brother.
Yeah. So
I really don't.
There are some theories out there.
I've heard it's like a number for Caesar or a certain Caesar and Nero. And
the funny thing about the ancient past is that they didn't do numbers the way we do, right?
No.
One of the funny things we use the Arabic system in our numbers today. It's very precise. All math is built on it, basically. In the Roman world, they used Roman numerals, which is very imprecise. Hebrew world, they used letters, which is also similar to Roman numerals. They're letters too. Hebrew, they use letters to talk about numbers, and so there's like there's a thing with a thing called numerology, and that sounds like Nostradamus stuff or something, but that's not what it is.
And sometimes it is.
Yeah, sometimes people go there with it for sure. The idea is just that numbers in the Hebrew Bible, especially, and in apocalyptic literature, are representative, and they carry a symbolism to them. And a good example of this is the numbers 7, right? Completion. You have the week. You have the creation. You have Sabbath. In there, you have the building of the temple as part of that. Another number that has these connotations is 40. It's a time of struggle and testing, the wilderness wanderings, the Noah in the flood, Jesus in the wilderness. 3 can have some stuff like that. And so you have these like kind of like whole numbers that represent these things, and so the idea is you get to hear is 6 is 6 one of these, right? And it could be, I guess, but there's not an analog in the Old Testament. There's not a reference for it, and that's the hard thing. It's like there's not something you can go to in the Old Testament and say, "Oh, this is what the 6s are all about." Some people would say that they're days of almost completion, right? Or it's a number of almost completion, since 7 is a number of completion and wholeness.
Yeah, the early church fathers. What
did they say? Yeah.
Well, some of them say it hadn't happened yet, like Hippolytus of Rome. He's like, don't speculate on it because he's a futurist. You had a futurist, right?
Hippolytus. Is that how you say his name?
I don't know.
Hippolytes or something?
It's Hipp. It's Hippolytus.
Yeah, Hippolytus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a premillennial.
He was in the 3rd century, which is the 200s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but a lot of them are like 666 is, and I've heard this too. I kind of lean this way. It's a 7 is a complete and perfect thing, like the 7 days of creation stuff. So 6 is it's not right.
It's not quite there.
So it's a false trinity.
Yeah.
It's a 666. It's imperfection. That is what it is. So
Yeah. It has the appearance of fullness, but not.
Which is what the lamb is in
Yeah.
this. It's like, it looks like a lamb, but it talks like a dragon.
Yeah.
It looks like it's complete, but it's not quite
It's
right.
got signs,
Yeah,
but
it ain't there.
But the signs are pointing to idolatry.
Which is the whole problem with the churches earlier in this very book is that they're getting led astray by people like the Nicolaitans and all these folks
who have
that
the
are-
appearance of righteousness, but aren't.
but do not have it. So I actually think, when I say I have no idea, but it's not 100% true.
Yeah.
I think it's just saying it's something that looks right and complete and is not.
I think so too. I think that's what it's likely is. I think it fits the symbolism in the passage and where it's going. The other popular view, that's a popular view that you said and that I agree with.
I think that's probably the most historical view.
I think so.
The majority.
Another popular view is that there is no symbolism to it at all. It's just a number. It's just it is a dangerous bad number, and you should be afraid of it, right? You should fear it and don't get it yourself marked with it, right? So that is probably the most popular view in evangelicalism. The third most popular view is probably the preterist view that wants to kind of pin this on Nero.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember why though.
It's
his name.
It's like if you kind of go backwards on the numbers, like how numbers work.
Because the letters of his name.
Yeah, the letters.
It add up to 666.
Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, because it is the number of a person.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's like, this is talking about Nero. And that's got some weight to it.
Yeah.
Nero was terrible. It was someone that they were dealing with.
Killed Paul, burned Christians.
Yeah. So
burned Rome.
It's a view, and it's fine. The big point though that you should take away from this is that the mark of the beast is not something that you're in danger of accepting if you're in Christ. It is by definition not accepting Christ. That's what the mark is.
It is joining with the powers of the world
instead of Christ,
in opposition to Christ.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And so it's everyone else outside of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not in danger of that, right? You shouldn't be on the lookout to figure out what.
Oops! I accidentally lost my salvation.
Yeah, because I got a computer chip or something. I got a credit card. Golly, it's insanity. That's no. It says right after in chapter 14. Then I looked, and there was the Lamb. There was the Lamb, right, standing on Mount Zion, and with him were 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. So it's their mark, and this comes from the priesthood.
And nobody's scared that they're going to accidentally take that mark.
No, that's going to be a computer chip or something, right? I heard a sound from heaven like the sound of cascading waters and like the rumbling of loud thunder. The sound I heard was the harpists playing on their harps. They sang a new song before the throne and before the four living creatures and the elders. But no one could learn the song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. And this is
a weird passage, man.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, because it gets weird.
Well, let me stop there and explain the 144,000. We've already seen the 144,000.
We've seen them.
This happened after the seals, or between 6 and 7 on the seals, or was it after?
Yeah, we talked about the tribes of Israel.
It's the people of God. Is who it is. It's a way to talk about the redeemed, and this is where it gets clear the people who had been redeemed from the earth. That's who they are. And so it's 12 is the idea, 12,000. And so this is more of that numerology. It's a symbolism for the complete people of God who are redeemed from the earth. And then verse 4, now you got the weird. This is the little weird part, right? These are the ones who had not defiled themselves with women since they remained virgins. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They were redeemed from humanity as the first fruits for God in the Lamb. No lie was found in their mouths. They are blameless. What in the world? We had a big change, didn't it? Yeah. And so they were redeemed from the earth.
Clearly, they're all men.
And then they're also not defiled themselves with women.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I think it means
you can't defile yourself with your wife.
No.
Right?
No, it means if you ever had premarital sex, you can't be one of these people.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that what it means?
It says they remained virgins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it means that.
What it's a depiction. Everything else so far has been a symbol. You should be looking at this as like, what is the image here producing? This is blameless people. This is an innocent. These are
They
innocent.
never lied.
They've never, yeah. No lie was found in their mouths. They are blameless. You know better than to think these people are here right now walking around, that they have been blameless without lies.
And are perfect.
And are perfect, right? That can't be.
Mm-mm.
This is a perfected people.
Yeah.
This is a people who have been not just like had the first start of redemption, but that have experienced redemption from Christ. That's what I think it is.
Yeah. And it's just talking about people who they've been delivered from sexual immorality. They're not. There's a lot of ways in Revelation even that sometimes women are used. When you think about this is not a sexist thing.
Yeah.
What I mean is like the harlot that rides the dragon.
Yeah.
And so what I think about here is this is talking about folks who have defiled themselves with this worldly system. It's not necessarily that they're sleeping around.
Mm-hmm.
They've been delivered from the harlot that rides the beast.
Yeah.
They don't lie, and they're with Jesus, and they're marked with him.
Yeah.
And so this is why I think this is another reason why apocalyptic literature is so confusing, because people will read this and go, "Oh, well, there's 144,000 people, and they have to be virgins,
And they're only men.
and they're only men or women that didn't defile themselves with women, whatever that means."
Yeah.
And they'd never lied.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, those people don't exist.
Yeah. That's right. You shouldn't be looking for it. That's not the point.
Who here hasn't lied?
Yeah, that's right.
Who has ever been born that didn't lie?
Yeah, and what you're seeing here is a depiction of something. You got to look for that. Like, what's the figure behind the figurative language? And that's what's being expressed here. This is the perfected people of God, right? And it's pretty unanimous outside of some futurist people. They're going to talk about, some folks being saved out of the tribulation or something here. I think it's nonsense. But they're going to say stuff like that. I was going to say something else about this, but then I forgot because you kept on jabbering.
Gosh, I got to quit that. But it's part of the job of the podcaster.
Yeah, that is true. Just jabber, man. Then you have some angels making some proclamations that come after this, right? And the big proclamation is about Babylon. Babylon the Great has fallen. She made all the nations drink the wine of her sexual immorality, which brings wrath.
Well, that's what I was talking about with the women earlier.
Yeah,
right?
you're going to see it in later on too.
Yeah.
Like you get a depiction of the prostitute.
He's not knocking women.
That's we were going to talk about women.
He's not knocking
well,
women.
this is the same. That's what I was going to talk about. In the New Testament, Old Testament, I guess too. When in your Bible, most of the time when you see the modern Bible, you're going to see something like in the sons and daughters of God, right? Sons and daughters of the Father or something. That's not what it says in Greek.
No,
it says sons only. Now, it doesn't mean just men.
no,
Right. Idiom is not the right word.
no. It's just
a figure.
It's just a function of language.
It is.
So, like in Spanish, if you have a group that is mixed with men and women, it is a masculine group.
But it's more than in the New Testament. It's more than a function of the language, though, because there's also a theological weight to the sonship.
Yeah.
Right? Of inheritance.
Yeah,
Right. So you take passages,
but
like,
it still can be mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, mixed
certainly.
group.
But the point of the reason, like all the inheritance language and adoption language in the New Testament is about it's all masculine. It's all about men. Is because that's how that language that's how that culture worked. Is that's who inherited. The women also inherit all the spiritual blessings. But the function of how the language and how the theology worked was trying to show you you're the number one son. Like you're the number one child of God. You all are, right?
Mhm.
And you get to inherit with Christ. And so it's going to use masculine language. Your modern Bible is going to look at it and be like, okay, we need to make sure this makes sense. And they're going to translate it sons and daughters, because that's true. It is both, right? In the same way, you get to something like this, and the negative language is kind of in terms of women. Like that's their world, man. In the Roman world, if you went back to Rome, people have this perception of Rome as like this, wild sexual exploitation place.
Yeah.
Rome was not like that. Rome was deeply conservative. Rome. And so what you're thinking about when you have that in mind, you're actually thinking of Greece. Greece in the Greco side of this world, especially on the more eastern side of the empire, lots of licentiousness, tons of it everywhere. The Roman culture was super conservative and closed doors on stuff, and often depicted women as the the enemy, like
The seductress.
The seductress. They're all seductresses, stuff like that. It's all their fault, and so it's a kind of a function of the language again.
I
too.
just think if you connect verse 4 to 8, let's read this.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, "These are the ones who have not been defiled with women, for they have kept themselves chaste." Now listen to verse 8 in the same chapter.
Yep.
"And another angel, a second one, followed, saying, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great, she who has made all nations drink of the wine of the passion of her immorality."
Yeah.
And so it's not women; it is the
Of course.
harlot that rides the world. That
Babylon
is like,
is depicted as a prostitute harlot.
Yes,
wild
100%.
prostitute. And that's the idea.
And so this, it has nothing to do with physical sexual immorality.
No.
Don't take it literal.
That's right.
In fact, if you speak prophet, and we got to be careful saying speak prophet, because they think I'm talking about
Did you
being
see
a
that
prophet.
that comment?
I'm not
Yeah.
talking. I'm talking about you speak the language of the prophets, not that you are being a prophet. How does God talk about idolatry in the Old Testament?
Yeah.
He talks about it in terms of sexual immorality,
Yeah.
and it's very
Prostituting themselves off.
like if you said it out loud in front of some people, they'd be like, "Dude, don't say that.
Yeah.
That's gross." He talks about it in one place. He says, "You are like a donkey in heat, sniffing after idolatries to chase." You are playing in it. Oh, you can't say
The ESV.
Do you
is
know
the
what
funny
harlot is?
one. Yeah, it's a whore.
Whore.
That's the ESV translates it whore.
Yes, it says you whore under every tree with your idols, right? That's nasty. I'm not trying to be shocking.
Yeah.
That's what the prophet said.
Yeah, that's right.
It says you are whoring after your idols under every green tree in Israel, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
So right here when it's talking about they were virgins, they were pure, it means they're not sleeping with the gods of this world.
Yeah.
That's all it means.
Yeah.
And the reason I hit this, because it's a dead horse for me, because there are people who will read this and say, the Bible is sexist. It just hates women. And it's like, no.
No, the Bible is speaking their language.
Yes.
It is doing
it's
that,
talking
man.
about harlotry,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's not talking about, oh, no, you slept with your girlfriend when you were in high school.
Yeah.
You can't go to heaven.
Oh, my God.
You can't follow the lamb around.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, dude. Or hey, there's a special group of people who died as virgins, and they're going to get to walk around with Jesus with tambourines all the time because they never had sex with anybody.
Yeah.
And I guess they also never lied. It's like, no.
Those people aren't real.
It makes you want to become a Catholic and say, stop reading the Bible. Just give it back to me.
Give it back.
We'll tell you what it means. Stop.
Just stop it. Yeah.
I get that
That's
impulse,
funny. I
dude,
get it
sometimes.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Some Roman Catholic, if they ever listen to this, will be like, oh, they're almost there. They're halfway across the Tiber. It's like, get it out of the hands of these foolish people.
So you're right. I think that was a great explanation of that.
Yeah.
It says after that, and going through verse 9, if anyone worships the beast in its image and receives a mark on his forehead or on his hand, he will also drink the wine of God's wrath, which is poured full strength into the cup of his anger. He will be tormented with fire and sulfur in the sight of the holy angels, in the sight of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment will go up forever and ever. There is no rest, day or night, for those who worship the beast in its image, or anyone who receives the mark of its name. This calls for endurance from the saints who keep God's commands in their faith in Jesus. It's like this is the destruction coming for those who receive the mark. Now, this is also said later on too. This repeated in chapter 19 or 20.
Yeah. So the harlotry or the sexual immorality that's being spoke of is not physical sexual immorality. It is following the ways of this world and prostituting yourself to the worldly system. And by worldly system, I mean anything that is anti-Christ.
Yeah.
It is putting your hope, trust, faith in the things of this world and not in the Lord.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's right. And the other side of that are those who have followed Christ instead.
Yeah. Well, verse 10,
and are faithful to him.
When Jesus said to James and John, they said, we want to sit, they got their mama to come talk to him. You remember this? They're like, let my boys, one of them sit on your right hand and one of them on your left. And James and John are just standing there like a couple of dipsticks. I love them. They're my brothers. And Jesus says, are you able to drink from the cup that I'm about to drink from?
Oh, yeah.
What's Jesus talking about?
Yeah. He's talking about this. He's talking about the cup of God's wrath.
He drank God's wrath.
Yep.
Yes. He trampled out the vineyards where the grapes of wrath are stored.
Yeah.
That wine is not made up by the poet. That comes from Revelation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Isaiah.
Yeah. Well, in Genesis.
In Genesis.
Yeah, remember that
teeth are like, yeah.
So here there's destruction coming for those who follow.
Yeah, we just want to give you some assurances here, okay?
Yep.
It's not against women. It is against a worldly system that prostitutes itself against Christ.
Now, let me say this: maybe you're okay. It's not against women. Why does the Bible use women? Why does the Bible use depictions of women so negatively to describe like negative things?
In this spot?
Yeah. In other places too.
I would say because they're the crown of creation. They are the most beautiful thing. And so when you defile the most beautiful thing, you've done something horrific.
Okay.
So who was made first? Adam. Everybody's like, oh, he's made first. But who was the crown of creation?
Yeah.
It was Eve.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who it was.
Yeah.
She was the beautiful one. And so it strikes not only at women as being the final thing of creation, and in some ways, I think, I don't want to say pinnacle, but whatever, we can put them up there on that pedestal. But also, it sort of strikes at the covenant relationship of marriage.
Yeah.
The idea of illegitimacy in birth, the whole promises of God count on the fact that the child will come through the woman in a way that God has ordained.
Yeah.
And so, but these harlots are not representative of all women, or the harlotry of this world. It is those who have completely lost the plot in who God made them to be. Yeah. And it is the saddest fall of all. I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's good. There's, I would say also it's equal opportunity employer here.
Yeah.
Like there's also beasts and masculine beasts and war making and all that kind of stuff in masculine terms throughout.
Yeah, all the little false prophets and beasts are dudes.
Man of lawlessness, like, so it's an equal opportunity employer with this kind of stuff. If you're upset that there's a negative depiction of women here, well, I mean, it's not a negative depiction of women. It's just Babylon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's same if you're like, oh, it's talks about, it's got bad masculine figures.
If it helps you, it could say, my interpretation would be, those who have kept themselves chaste, it would say, those are the ones who have not been defiled with Babylon the harlot, for they have kept themselves chaste. Yeah. That's what I think he's saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. All right, let's move on. We're gonna do the bowls real quick, and we'll probably be done with this. But let's do the bowls. Last Judgment. That way we can clean up next week and finish the whole thing. The bowls. There's 7 bowls. This is the third round of God's judgments. They come after this act. They call it like an act 4 or something. It's what we just read through from 12 through 14. really 15. And this is what kind of between each of the judgments, you get some narrative. You got some stuff about the 144,000, the seals last time. This past time, you got this stuff about the war in heaven with Satan and Israel and how God is protecting and sustaining his church amidst everything. And then you get the last set of judgments. And as we talked about, the whole idea in the idealist view with the judgments is that these are cyclical realities, cycles, just constant realities between the ascension of Christ and his return, that you should expect tragedy and problems in this era. Because the big question was, well, Christ has come and he has died on the cross and resurrected and started the resurrection and he's reigning at the right hand of God the Father, giving out blessings to all of his people. Why are they getting killed?
Yeah.
Right? Why are they getting martyred? Why are they starving? Why if Christ is king right now, why are these bad things happening? And
why am I still sinning?
Why am I still sinning? That's a big one too. And so these cycles that Revelation is describing is explaining that. And the point is, this isn't the resurrection. That's not happened yet. And this is an era of mixed, it's a mixed bag era where there is righteousness on one hand and wonderful peace and the Holy Spirit on one hand, but you also could die, and
we're still
you could be martyred. Yeah,
with the powers and principalities of this present darkness.
And this world is still growing.
Jesus invaded the world,
yeah,
and established an army. But we don't fight like normal armies, because we're not fighting against flesh and blood.
That's right. Yeah.
We're fighting against Satan and the lies, and we overthrow those strongholds by telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
And that army, which we call the church,
yeah,
has been marching on ever since. We're going into every tongue and tribe and nation. We're teaching people about Jesus, and in a very real way, the kingdom of God is here.
Yeah.
In another real way, it is still being opposed.
Yeah.
All the enemies of Christ have not yet been put underneath his feet. And so it is here.
Yeah.
And it is going forward.
Yeah.
And it is greater now than it's ever been. And it will only continue ever upwards.
Yeah. And so when you look around our age, as people have been doing for the last 2,000 years, and you see oppression, you see evil, you see these things, you should read Revelation. You should think about these judgments here, and you should think they're going to get theirs. Like this is, and they are. Like there's no Nazi Germany anymore.
No.
There's no USSR. They are getting theirs. Like they will die. They're going to get judged. The plagues of Egypt are coming on them.
And
too.
talking about the cyclical stuff, the USSR's gone, Germany's gone. Are all the Nazis and socialists gone?
No, but they will one day though.
They will one day, but they keep coming back.
They keep coming back. Yeah,
and
it's the same.
And sometimes they get elected mayors of big cities.
That's right. It's the same stuff. It's the same old stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like you look at the oppression of God's people that have happened in the Middle East, North Africa, Eastern Europe for centuries. I mean, it's the same old stuff. Nothing's really changed there.
Somebody always trying to steal your labor, man.
Yeah. And so let's look at these. This is the last set right here. You have I saw another great and awe-inspiring sign in heaven, 7 angels, 7 last plagues, for with them God's wrath will be completed. I also saw something like a sea of glass mixed with fire, and those who had won the victory over the beast, its image, and the number of its name were standing on the sea of glass with harps from God, and they sing this song, this worship song. There's the temple, and then we'll get to the different bowls here. The first bowl, huh?
We skipped the reapers though.
Where?
Where he sticks his sickle in.
No, that's in the
14. The white cloud sitting on the throne was one like a son
Did
of
I
man
miss that?
having a golden crown in his
Oh
hand.
yeah, I
sharp
did.
sickle.
Yeah, the reaping. Yeah.
Yeah, the reaping is important.
I forgot about that. I
Whoopsie
mean,
daisy.
Yeah, I mean,
because
it's the rapture.
This looks like the rapture.
Yeah, and it probably is.
Yeah.
But it's not the secret rapture.
No.
It's not.
And it also it says, and the winepress was trodden outside the city, and the blood came from the winepress up to the horses' bridles for a distance of 200 miles.
Yep.
That's a really weird spot there. That a lot of people, the futurists say that's like the Armageddon showdown.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So here's in. Armageddon comes here in a little while. The with the reaping, it's what we say. It's the rapture. It is the calling out of God's people from the creation and the calling out of those who have the mark, who are opposed to God, allied with Satan, even if they don't know it. And what happens to them? So the angel swung his sickle at the earth and gathered the grapes from the vineyard of the earth, and he threw them into the great winepress of God's wrath. Then the press was trampled outside the city, and blood flowed out of the press up. That's it. That's the final judgment.
A cup of wrath.
It's a way to talk about God's judgment on the earth, right? Which is, it's Revelation has so far, we should have counted these. How many ways has Revelation depicted God's wrath, final wrath? It's already happened several times.
Yeah.
This is another depiction of it. It's not that there's many of them. It's just a depiction of the final of it. And so let's get here to the first bowl now.
So the bowls of wrath are going to describe this judgment.
Yeah. It's going to describe the kind of judgment that God is giving the wicked, right? It's his wrath. There's 7 bowls of God's wrath on the earth. And now here's something funny. Before I read them, there are some idealists who pump the brakes on the bowls. Yeah. And they say the bowls are all depictions of the final wrath, but not like a 7-year tribulation.
No,
just like this is just the final moment. They look the most like Egypt plagues, the Egyptian plagues. Let's read them. So the first went and poured out his bowl on the earth, and severely painful sores broke out on the people who had the mark of the beast and who worshipped its image. Painful sores. That's straight from Exodus. The second poured out his bowl into the sea. It turned to blood like that of a dead person. Straight from Exodus, right? The third poured out his bowl into the rivers and springs of water, and they became blood, right? So very similar. And then the fourth bowl poured out his bowl on the sun. It was allowed to scorch people with fire, and people were scorched by the intense heat. So they blasphemed the name of God, who has the power over these plagues. And they did not repent and give him glory. They got bad sunburns, I guess, right? The fifth poured out his bowl on the throne of the beast, and its kingdom was plunged into darkness. People gnawed their tongues because of their pain and blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, but they did not repent of their works. Still no repentance. The sixth poured out his bowl on the great Euphrates River, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. Then I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs coming from the dragon's mouth, from the beast's mouth, and from the mouth of the false prophet, for they are demonic spirits performing signs, who travel to the kings of the whole world to assemble them for the battle on the great day of the Lord Almighty. Look, I am coming like a thief. Blessed is the one who is alert and remains clothed, so that he may not go around naked and people see his shame. And here you get Armageddon. So they assembled the kings at the place called in Hebrew Armageddon, which it's a place. It's a valley, right? And isn't that funny how that word's just taken on a life of its own? Right? Yeah. And so there's this battle, being prepared. Then the seventh poured out his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came from out of the temple, from the throne, saying, "It is done." There were flashes of lightning, rumblings, and peals of thunder, and a severe earthquake, very similar to all the other ones, right? How they all the other ones ended, occurred like no other since people have been on the earth. So great was the quake. The great city split into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. Babylon the Great was remembered in God's presence. He gave her the cup filled with the wine of his fierce anger. Every island fled, and the mountains disappeared. Enormous hailstones, each weighing about 100 pounds, fell from the sky on people, and they blasphemed God for the plague of hail, because that plague was extremely severe. All right.
That's straight from it too.
Yeah, it's hail falling, hitting people. Yeah,
It
it's.
destroyed their crops in Egypt. People were
Yeah.
knocked out. My great grandfather got knocked out by a hailstone.
Yeah, you told me that once.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
But they didn't weigh no 100 pounds.
Yeah, 100-pound kill you.
Kill
That's,
you
that's
dead.
dead.
You're a
just-
goner.
You're toast.
Yeah.
A 10-pound won't kill you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This one was probably baseball size.
5
golf
might kill
ball.
you. Actually,
Yeah.
5-pounder might kill you. All right, so here's you can kind of see how maybe they might look into the future for these things. It seems kind of final. I don't know. They're short.
Mm-hmm.
They're very short. There's not much said about them. There's the sea's blood.
The point is, no matter what befalls them, they will not repent.
they won't repent.
Just like Pharaoh.
Yeah,
They're
and
not
that's
repenting.
what makes me say I'm still not gonna dig into the future for this.
No.
The point is, it's the same old stuff.
It could be.
Yeah,
But it might not
I mean, God
be.
can do whatever He wants.
You're saying
Absolutely.
no, but leaning towards yes.
Yeah. And but that's right. You're right. The point is they never repent, no matter what happens to them.
No matter what
And that's the story, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the story of our age right now. Is that the terribleness of our world does not produce repentance. The things that you would expect, maybe this would shake people down to their boots and make them consider the things of the Lord, most of the time doesn't.
No.
And there's only one thing that will, and that's the presence of the Holy Spirit. Tragedy is not going to produce righteousness for them. It's not going to do it, and that's God's judgment on them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the message here. You'll notice again at the end of every one of them, the seals, the trumpets, and the bowls. You have the finality of the thing, though, and that's what lends me to thinking of the Book of Revelation as this cyclical pattern here. That they all end with this final judgment. It is done, it says, right? And you have the same kind of earthquake, thing happening at the end of each one of them. The final moment of God's judgment on the earth, right? And that's going to happen. That's not the symbol, the thing that it's symbolizing is the judgment, right? So what do you think about all that?
Well, I have mixed feelings. I think it's very possible that this is just talking about the judgments against those who are against Christ. And I know you read this and you think, well, this seems very apocalyptic kind of thing.
What do you mean apocalyptic?
Yeah, like
End of the world.
something super duper at the end of the world.
Yeah.
However, being 50 years old and having seen people who reject Christ their whole lives and the kind of suffering that comes with the rejection of righteousness, I can see those bowls in that.
Yeah, you're all the water you drink might as well be blood.
And it's so
right? It might as well be as nourishing
everything
as
turns
blood.
to dust
Yeah.
without Christ.
And death, right?
Yeah.
And that's the idea is that, I mean, the things that are alive are full of death for you.
So it's like if you don't have the hope of eternity, there's
the sun that used to shine on you in God's grace, like
Yeah.
it is now scorching you. You
Yeah.
can't be thankful for anything.
There-
That's the idea.
It's sort of like the old joke about the atheist's manifesto is there is no God and I hate him.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's kind of like people live that way. So they have something nice like the flower of their youth and the beauty of youth and the strength of youth. And then something happens. They get old, they get sick, and they're like, why would God let this happen to me?
Yeah.
But they can't say, man, all that time I was healthy, what a gift from God.
Yeah, that's right.
I treasure those
Yeah,
days.
yep,
But you can never treasure it.
No.
And so God's judgment on us is that we do grow old,
Yeah.
that we do die, that we do get sick, that we do have these tragedies, to remind us that this is not our home and to focus us on our forever home,
Yeah.
right? The one is forever and ever. And if you constantly live in this idea that God is shortchanging me, even though he's given you so many good things.
Yeah.
I mean, Shakespeare said this, didn't he? It's better to love and lost than never to have loved at all. Wasn't that Shakespeare? And that's true.
Oh, yeah.
But people can't handle it.
Yeah.
It's like, you stole from me.
Yeah.
It's like, I gave to you.
Yeah.
The absence of the good thing means you had a good thing
Yeah.
that other people may not ever even see.
Yeah.
And so, that's one way to look at it. Another way is, man, there's some weird time coming.
Yeah. I think one of the things at this point of reading through it again, I've realized is like a lot of people, we said this a couple weeks, something about metal, that they go to Revelation looking for metal. Like they want to see something rock and roll, something crazy, awesome. They want to see, the tables flipped over, and that's happening, right? That's real. But they want to see a roadmap. They want to see the news. They want to be vindicated in their suspicion and their conspiracies and all that kind of stuff. And so they'll ask, and this happens all the time. They'll ask, well, let's go through the book of Revelation. And when students have asked me that in the past, I always think to myself, man, like, you're going to be disappointed, which is terrible. It's so sad that you're going to be disappointed, but you are, and they always are. They're always disappointed because you're going here looking for metal, looking for like your own opinions vindicated and stuff. But what you're going to find is beauty here. You're going to find something beautiful, and you're going to be disappointed by it, and that's sad. I wish our perceptions of what God is doing in the book of Revelation would change, because they get here and they're disappointed. Because it's beautiful, because God is redeeming people. And that's what it's about. It's about the safety you have in God, no matter what is happening in this world. And they come here looking for anger, for their own anger to be vindicated.
Catharsis.
Yeah.
They want get those bad guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey man, we're the bad guys.
Yeah. That's right.
Be careful.
Yeah, I guess a version of catharsis. It just means emotional outpouring.
Yeah,
they want their rock and roll moment.
Yeah,
they want their conspiracy theory, like stick it to the man-itis, like affirmed. And that's just not what happens. They want to find out what's going to happen. They want to know the future. That's not what I mean. There's an element to it.
The future is now.
Yeah, there's an element to it, but don't read through this and be disappointed. Hear the beauty of the Lord, what He's doing for you, what He's done for you, what He's going to do for you.
You're getting delivered.
Yeah,
from this.
That's right. There's a reason this sounds like Exodus, because people were leaving Egypt, right?
Yeah.
And that's the wonderful part about it.
Yeah, we're leaving.
Right, and that's what's happening to us.
Hey man, when we get to heaven, we're going to get there as soldiers who've come through a war.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and we'll finally find our respite in heaven.
Yeah.
You may not know that you're fighting a war, but if you're in with Jesus, man, you're doing some hand-to-hand.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It feels like a war sometimes.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. Well, everyone, thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast today. We're going to keep it going next week. We finished all the big judgments. We're going to probably finish the book of Revelation next week. I think we can probably do it.
You'll never get me through chapter 20 in one sitting.
I might be 2 weeks. I don't know. I kind of went longer with this week on purpose, because I think the longer format might be better for people less interested in the details.
Yeah.
And the people that really want to dig into it, they might stick in for it and stuff. So we went really long today. We're probably going to go really long next week too. I think that'll work better for folks who might not be as interested.
Yeah, we get to talk about the mother harlots next week.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Hey, we'll see you next time on the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.